Okay, so I was out here the other day and I was flying with Sammy FPV, the good homie.
Get some earpods, put them on, be in the zone. Listen to music and fly, you guys.
And I was trying to do a video trying to break down the whole fact that setting your dynamic idle is very important. But what I came to find out, that an ancient technique in the drone industry that's still some practice is actually what helps make Betaflight idle way better. For some of you that do know and have been following me for quite some time now, the couple hundred of you that I really appreciate, I used to fly Flight 1, and something that was really good about it is no matter what position you have your throttle, roll, pitch, yaw, any axis that you throw into it, the drone seems to stay really locked in. And I think that's still to this day one of the factors that makes Flight 1 so good. But going into it, I used to realize that something was very different about Flight 1 over Betaflight, and I think the main difference really is how it deals with keeping the gyro on. Now, what I mean by that is, if you guys are familiar with air mode is Betaflight's version of keeping the gyro always sampling, even when you have your stick at zero, your throttle stick at 0. Now, if you guys know what I'm talking about, or if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, air mode is always going to give you stick input no matter if your throttle is at 0 position or if it's at any other position. But the main difference between Flight 1 and Betaflight is that you can have your stick at 0, and air mode will kind of balance it out, but it won't keep it there forever. After a while it'll find a new home position and it'll keep that new position. But with Flight 1, no matter what the position is, if you're armed, it's staying in that position after it turns off its safety feature. Now, really quick, to show you exactly what that means, I have idle up on this switch. If you guys don't know what idle up is, I'll explain that further, but that is the purpose of this video today. So now the first test to show you guys, and I don't recommend you guys do this at home, but check this out. First switch is air mode. So everything's good. You can hear it kind of counteracting the movements I'm making on it. If I pitch it slowly forward, it lets me pitch it forward and it finds a new gyro position that it can set to. Now if I pitch it back, same thing. No matter what, if I can slowly move it, it's going to keep that new home position. But let's say if I turn on idle up, which is giving now stick input into the gyro, it's going to keep one position and it's going to hold it, and it's going to hold it super well. So here's idle up. I'm not going to go any further. You guys can understand what I'm talking about from there. It wants to keep its gyro at whatever position it's supposed to be at. And I think that's a huge, huge benefit when it comes to keeping your drone upside down when you're coming down doing inverted yaws or anything like that. Or if you're diving down a building and you're shooting down and your drone all of a sudden kind of gets a little bit of wobbles. So I definitely think that Betaflight is really good, and with everything that I've been testing so far, I think it's just as close to Flight 1 characteristics as, or to this day. So I'm gonna fly it with idle up, show you guys the difference between it, but mainly I think I found out what the issue was, because if you guys noticed in my last LA video, certain moves where I would swoop up and come down the side of a building, you would see it kind of jitter for a second. And for me, that's annoying as hell, knowing that my drone, no matter how much I tune it, is not going to ever just be locked in. And I think idle up has definitely fixed it. So I think with the current settings, Betaflight could even possibly be better in its current state than Flight 1, just because of the fact that you do have RPM filtering. You can have motors that are somewhat dirty or fly dirty, and you'll be able to still fly like it's a brand new quad. When you fly Flight 1, you have a rock in the motor or just something to where it's so minuscule, you'll know, because Flight 1 will tell you. It'll go crazy and it'll fly like garbage. So I'm not rich, I'm not anywhere near to the levels of being sponsored by a company like Flight 1 to be able to just have whatever I want or be able to give my input to them. But what I do have is the power of knowledge, because knowledge is power. I'm gonna fly now. Okay, so I don't have any video enhancers on, like an ND or anything like that. All I have is just my GoPro at its stock settings. Pay controller is now tuned, and dynamic idle is set. So really quick, I want to show you guys the difference and what I'm talking about. So the first setting I have right now is with air mode on and dynamic idle set. And just to show you guys, this drone is flying really good now. Everything's good, showing that giving stick input, nothing's shaking or anything like that. But if I drop, leave it in, you can see like micro shakes. And nobody wants micro shakes. Everybody wants their drone to fly perfect. So now if we can see that, there's like little micro jitters. Now let's say if I turn on idle up with air mode and dynamic idle tuned, the drone just stays super locked in. And I also have my dynamic idle set pretty low, or my actual idle value set really low, so that it doesn't affect my actual flying. If you notice. Is that Chad?
Oh, it's scary. I heard that. Hey, that's JP.
What's up, dude? Where you going?
I'm doing a sprint.
Also, another thing that I noticed with idle up is that the PID controller seems to lock on a lot better when it comes to catching itself, which should help eliminate a lot of oscillations. Now most people can say like, oh, you know, I'm pretty good at catching it and flying around it, but when it comes to doing certain tricks, like forcing yourself in reverse, you want to be able to have a super locked-in drone, because no matter what, you're going to have to give a pretty abrupt throttle movement to get some of these tricks to stand out. So I think that idle up is pretty important. I'm going to now fly with it every single day and put it on every single one of my drones, because it's that much more of a difference than to have to not use real steady to correct any of the weird oscillations that you get from your PID controller not being active during air mode. So I'm gonna keep flying. That's it for me today, guys. I'm gonna keep flying because it's been a long week at work. I know it's Friday tomorrow in my actual time, but I think that it's very necessary to have hobbies like this so you can let go of all the angst and stress that you build up during the week. So if you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, comment, subscribe if you would like, and also if you guys would like to see more of these videos, let me know. Bye.
Dennis, young menace, God image, big business. I've been a young killer since pops pop in a wax spitters beat dinner. I'm a young gorilla, these niggas beginners. I've been a born sinner, bad ass young nigga. Michael Jackson, black thriller, swagger on a hundred. These niggas doubted, I said these niggas doubted. Now my swagger on a hundred. Down. Bow down on my knees, put my hands on my chest, say grace. Thank you for the swag, thank you for the swag. I'm blessed. Thank you for the swag. Thank you for the swag. I'm blessed. Life gets kinda hard. I look up. Thank you, God, that I'm still living and my clock is still ticking. Cause I could've died a long